worst kids in the whole history of the world. They lied and stole and smoked cigars, even the girls, and talked dirty and hit little kids and cussed their teachers and took the name of the Lord in vain. And they set fire to Fred's shoemaker's old broken down tool house.
And that's not all. Somebody ordered 5 dozen donuts for the firemen, and the Hardmans took them all. And whatever they didn't eat, they stuffed down their shirts and in their pockets.
And there was this really, really dirty word on the back of Naomi Waddell's favorite turtle. So she can't bring somewhere to see a pet show. Her mother won't let her.
What was the word?
And they knew it was fluorescent paint, so it glows in the dark. When you can't even see the turtle, you can see the word.
And somebody put a whole bunch, and they even put tadpoles in the school drinking fountain. And Miss Barnes drank 2 or 3 by mistake. Somebody else, Mildred, no, you're drinking tadpoles!
It was too late. Did she get sick?
Not right away.
And that's not all. Now I'm going to tell you about the Christmas pageant and what they did to Beth. There were 6 of them. Rachel, Imogene, Leroy, Claude, Olivia, and Gladys. And they went through the Woodrow Wilson School like those South American fish that strip your bones clean. And they went through town the same way, stealing things and tearing things up and whaling kids. So it was hard to get away from them. There was only one safe place.
Sweet hour of prayer, because there are no herdmen there. Jesus loves us as they say because he keeps us miles away.
That's my little brother Charlie. That's what he said when the Sunday school teacher asked what was his favorite thing about church. Charlie said, no herdmen. That made the teacher mad because all the other kids said nice things about God and Jesus and good feelings, but old Charlie told the real truth. No herdmen.
I don't care what everybody else says. One thing about church that the herdmen aren't there ever.
It's not a very Christian sentiment, it seems to me.
It's a very practical sentiment. Charlie was black and blue all last year because he had to sit next to Leroy Herdman in school.
Is he the worst one, Leroy?
They're all the worst ones.
Rachel's the biggest, so if Rachel gets you, you're dead.
No, I'm glad she's small, but she's mean, she's fast, and she bites.
Sorry, I asked. Just stay away from all of them.
That's what I said. Stay away from them. Go to church.
I'm glad to hear you feel that way.
Why?
No arguments this year about the Christmas pageant.
I don't want to be a shepherd again.
Tell Mrs. Armstrong you'd like to be a wise man.
I don't want to be in it.
Everybody's in it. Think how I'd feel sitting there on Christmas Eve if my own children weren't in the pageant. Think how your father would feel. You'd feel terrible, wouldn't you, Bob?
Babe, Dow Jones is down. Little Chad's not going to get his Red Ryder this Christmas.
Oh, man.
Well, I wasn't planning on going this year. You know how crowded the place gets. Somebody could use my seat. I was planning on staying home, putting on my bathrobe, and relaxing and watching football. There's never anything different with that Christmas pageant.
There'll be something different this year.
What?
Charlie's going to wear your bathrobe.
Good. Just thought that up, Grace?
Why don't you meet Joseph? Elmer Hopkins will pay you $1 to be Joseph. He's thinking of being Joseph every year just because his father's a minister. Nobody wants to be Joseph.
Nobody wants to be in it.
What are you going to be this year?
I'm always in the angel choir.
Why can't little Chad be in the angel choir?
Because little Chaz can't sing.
From what I remember in the past, it's not a serious drawback. Away in the manger sounds to me like a closet full of mice.
Well then, what do you learn in the angel choir?
Bed sheets.
Ooh, big choice. Bed sheets or bathrobe.
You know, Mrs. Armstrong works very hard to make a lovely experience for everyone.
Oh, Mom, Mrs. Armstrong just likes to run things. Not true.
Go on.
They're right, of course. She directs the pageant, she runs the potluck supper, she's chairman of the bazaar. I think Helen Armstrong would preach the sermon if anyone would let her.
Oh, that's George Armstrong's wife.
Yes.
Maybe she should try managing the hospital because that's where she's at. I just talked to George this morning at the drugstore. She told me she broke her leg in 2 places. She'll be in traction for 3 weeks. She'll be laid out to the first of the year.
The first of the year, they'll have to cancel Christmas.
Do you think she's in charge of Christmas?
Well, she's in charge of the pageant and she's in charge of the bazaar. I feel sorry for Helen, but I don't know who's going to do all those things.
You guys.
Well, yes, I'll take over the bazaar, Edna, if you'll do the potluck supper. Lord, well, I don't know what we're gonna do about the Christmas pageant. Unless, what about Grace?
I just can't, Edna. I got company on Christmas week, Edna. What? No, I know. Edna. Well, why don't you pick Grace? How about Grace?
Hello, Grace.
Bob,
What?
I have to direct the Christmas pageant.
Does that mean I have to go?
Our Christmas pageant isn't what you'd call four-star entertainment. Mrs. Armstrong breaking her leg was the only unexpected thing that ever happened to it. It's always the same old Christmas story, the same old carols, the same old Mary and Joseph, and that's what my mother was stuck with. That Mrs. Armstrong.